Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational video channel. We are continuing with learning Scratch. We are continuing with learning Scratch block, and in this video today I'm going to try to explain how and when to use Scratch block, which is named AND. It is one of those operators blocks, green one. It is ninth from above, so click and drag it to your right window so we can use it in our cat code, and let's see what that Scratch block does. Okay, in previous video we have made cat walk left and right and enter new levels when it comes close to the edge, and it works fine more or less, but we have a problem here when we want our cat to go a little bit more in the air on the second level. We cannot do that, and on the third level, so we want to change that. That problem occurred like one or two videos before, and I have explained it earlier, but let's do it again just in short. We have used if block to ask the question, to ask Scratch the question: is the cat more on the y axis than minus 40 on first level, minus 20 on second level, and more than 50 on third level. But the problem is that all of these blocks are working at the same time, as we can see by their yellow border, sorry, and so does this when green flag clicked. So we have confrontation, we have conflict here. This block is working all the time, this one, and this one, so Scratch cannot decide which one to use, and he uses for this question we are asking him here, he uses this one, the first one, because that's the first level we are on. So the cat will be able to go minus 40 on first one, but it will stay like that also on the second one and on the third one. We couldn't do that and solve that problem with this kind of coding, so we have to add something more. First of all, I see that the cat is telling me on which backdrop she is right now, and that's here in else, if else block. I'm going to detach that one and attach the one which we had before, and that's say Y position, and I'm going to attach both of those now here, so I can see now my Y position here, which is what I need to change. Minus 40 on the first one, but when I go into the second level and I want to go minus 50 or more into the air, the cat or the Scratch doesn't allow me to do that. So let's fix it. One way to do it is by using combination of few blocks, and we are going to do that now. But before that, let's just explain in short what this new block is and how to use it in some different situations and how to solve problem with it. This new block, green one, operator block, hexagonal, it has two fields, they are empty, and we can attach some of the other fields here as we have seen before, like for example this one. So we can attach it here and duplicate and attach it here, or so on. And that means this block AND means that we are going to, because we can add two blocks in it that we are going to, maybe earlier we had that here and we were comparing if one is bigger than another, one is lower, or one is equal to another, and this one here doesn't compare two blocks. This one connects them, makes them both true at the same time, checks if the both are true at the same time. What does that mean? If you have some complex problem, some complex situation in Scratch, and it's similar in any different programming language, sometimes it's not easy to use only one condition, only one question. For example, in our case here, we want to ask our Scratch program, is the cat more than 40 pixels in the air, like we did here. We asked, is the position of the cat more than minus 40 in the air? If it is, then bring her back to minus 40. And that works, right? If I go more than minus 40, you can see it's minus 30 for a split of a second, but I'm still pressing the button. When I stop pressing the button, the Scratch will set it back to minus 40. So this works here. Great. But what if I had few more conditions here? For example, if you have some game in which you have to shoot, for example, you have some kind of weapon and ammunition, so you want to ask Scratch, does the character have ammunition? Cool, shoot, but does the character also have the gun? So those are two conditions. First one is, do you have the gun? Second, do you have the ammunition? If both are true, then shoot. If not, you cannot shoot. You cannot shoot with the gun without ammo, or you cannot shoot with the ammo without the gun. So that is a very, very simple sample of the game where you are going to need two or more conditions. What else we can add? We can add third condition. If I have the gun, if I have the ammo, and if I press the click, shoot. So you have three conditions. Let's try to find some another example, like maybe in some RPG game, if you have some kind of character, some kind of wizard or so on. So you have the condition if the wizard or knight, some warrior knight, and you have some kind of equipment for that warrior, some kind of weapons and shields. So you're going to ask if the player has the shield, he can equip it, but that's the one condition. What if the game is more complex, like if the player has the shield and the class needed for that shield? Sometimes the class is wizard, sometimes it's warrior and so on, so wizard cannot wear some kind of armor or shield or so on. So that's it. So not only the shield, but you need to be some class, but then you can add more conditions, like you need to be warrior class, you need to have skill plus 10, you need to have the shield, and so on. So you see how fast it can be, how fast your games can grow in complexity and turn complex, and you will need more and more conditions to add. In this case, in our case, I have the condition here to go less than minus 40 on the first level, but when I go on the second level, I want to go more than minus 40. And how should I solve it? What kind of conditions can I add here so the Scratch will understand that he has to go more in the air on the second level and less on the first? Well, if you try to think about it for a while, it's kind of simple. We just have to find out what condition is best to use to explain the Scratch how to control the cat and how to limit her on which level. Well, conditions in our case can be levels, or can be fact that cat is on the first level when it goes minus 40, and on the second when it goes minus 20, and on the third when it goes 50 or more. So we are going to use that fact, the level, the name of the level, the name of the background, or the number of the background, and that's what we have used before in previous lesson. That's what I was explaining you here with this number, with this scratch block. Sorry, it's one of the looks blocks. So if you don't have it, go here to the end of the looks block, click and drag it, and if you click on it, it will tell you which number backdrop is. It's first in this case, or name. It will tell you boardwalk and so on. I will use number because it's easier. Okay, so let's try to do this now, but let's again try to define the problem. I want my cat to be able to go minus 40, but only on the first level. For now on, I'm telling Scratch go minus 40, but I have put that in forever block, and there is no evidence here, no any kind of information which I'm telling the Scratch that the cat is on the first level. Where is it? Can you see it? There is no information like that here. It's only set the size of the cat, go to some position, and if the cat moves more than minus 40 pixels in the top, put her back to minus 40. That's all cool, but I have to say Scratch, hey, use this only when on backdrop level number 1. So I have to tell that to Scratch somehow. First, let's try to define how to tell the Scratch that the cat is on backdrop number 1. If I click here, it says number 1. That's cool, that's because the cat is on the first level, so that works. But how to tell the Scratch to ask the cat, is the cat on the level 1? Okay, we are going to use operators to use the questions, to make the questions, sorry. And we're going to use this control if to make the question. So if you are on backdrop 1, do something. Okay, how to tell now if you are on backdrop 1, how to tell the Scratch to ask the cat if the backdrop is 1. Is means equal, means this sign here, so drag and drop that one. It's not greater, it's not lower. I want to ask the Scratch cat, are you on the level 1? Is your backdrop number 1? So click and drag this backdrop into this operator, equal, and type 1, because this is what we are going to ask Scratch cat here, are you on the backdrop number 1? That's the first question, but we said here we have two questions here. The first one, are you on the level 1? Yes. Are you more than 40 pixels, minus 40 pixels in the air? Yes. Then go back, then go lower. So two questions. First one, is the backdrop number 1? And the second, is the Y position minus 40? So these are two blocks. How to put them together? This is where this new block comes in handy. So we're going to drag and drop them into it, and this is how you ask the Scratch to check if two conditions are true. So this AND blocks will give true only if both of these conditions are true. So first block in this hole and second block in this second hole, both have to be true, and only if both are true, true and true, that gives final true for this block. So that's what you need here. I need to ask the Scratch, are you on the first level? Yes. Are you more than 40 pixels in the air? Yes. Go back. Cool. So just click and drag and drop it here, and we are going to do that for other blocks too, and I think it will work. Instead of drag and dropping it again. Let's just duplicate it, and let's just duplicate it again because we have 3 levels. So the second will be -20. And the third one will be 50. But what have I forgot to do? I have to change backdrop to 3 on the XY grid. I have to change backdrop to 2 on level concert. Why? Because this is my second level. That's why I changed here to 2. This is my third level. That's why I typed here 3. So that way, only if I'm on level 3 and only level 3, and both of these questions are true. Are you on level 3? Yes. Are you more than 50? Yes. Go to 50. It's not going to work here when I'm on the level 2. Why? Because I have asked the Scratch to check those 2 conditions, and it won't work on this level 1 because I have asked Scratch to check these 2 different conditions. So every level has its own conditions, and every level has its own kind of reaction to those conditions. On the third level it's 50, sorry, and get back to 50. On second -20, get back to -20, and on first -40, go back to -40. Let's see if this will work. Okay, -40. I start like that, and I cannot go more than that in air. Let's see now number 2. It should be -20 if I try to go in the air. Yeah, it works. Great. So I cannot go more than 20. Cool. Let's go to the third one, which says 50. You see the difference. Let's instead of 50, let's type 120 just to see the difference, bigger difference here, but it's already working, and you can see that it's working. Okay, let me grab a sip of water. So I cannot go more than -40 in the air in the first level, second -20, and the third level I have set the limit to 150, so I can go all the way up. Great, cool. This looks great. Okay, so this works. So you can see how we have solved the problem which we had before with combining some new blocks, with combining them into a block which can combine more than one block, and that is this new AND block. Oh, we have used it, so I don't have it here anymore. This one, I'm going to try to explain this similar or and not soon, but for now try to play with this AND block. As I said, that's one of the Boolean blocks which gives you true or false, and it will give you true only and only if both of these conditions are true. So you're using this block by adding 2 conditions, 2 questions to Scratch. Is something more than something else? Is something equal? And so on. You can combine these on so many different ways. Every hexagonal 6-sided Scratch block can be fit into it. So this one also, we haven't explained it, but just see how you can combine them in so many ways. And only if this one is true question, and this one answer to this question is true, and answer to this question is true, only then this AND block will give you the true answer. That's how you use it. You put 2 questions and wait for the answer, and then if something is true, do this. if something isn't true, do something else. Simple as that. But it's very powerful because you can use 2 or more blocks. Now you're asking me, how can I use more than 2 if I have 3, 5, 6 or so on? Well, simple as this. Just click, copy these. I'm not going to explain them because that can get ugly and messy fast, but you can play with those like crazy. You can add so many. I haven't tested them, to be honest, on very complex questions and actions, but I will, for some kind of tutorials, I will need to do that too. So you will have to wait on me for that, or until then try to do it on your own. But as you can see, you can really go crazy and wild on this by experimenting and get some funny or interesting results yourself. And in some general different kind of programming languages, game engines and so on, you are just in them you still have this kind of options, but you just write down that option, that block, instead of having these visual blocks. You just type and. So if you have 2 questions, you add one and between them. If you have 3, you have 1 and 2 and 3, so on. So you just type and this kind of scratch blocks can be tricky to follow, but it's easier for some complex programming to use some more complex programming languages. But I think we will fit into this workflow. Okay, that's it for this. Or maybe, yeah, just let me try maybe good exercise would be to add some kind of limit to the bottom, right? We haven't added that. Yeah, cat can go bottom as much as she wants, which looks cute and funny with the ears like this. But on this level, for example, if you don't want to Scratch to be able to stage dive on those people to walk on their heads, you can add some limit here. Like for example, cat can go only this far, -80. I will do that maybe. And here you can go maybe a little bit more, like -140. And on the first level, yeah, -140 or -130. Anyway, try to pick whatever you want here and do some kind of limits for cat to go down, and try to do it on your own. I think you should be able to do it now. Just put some kind of blocks here, some kind of questions. I'm not going to explain it in detail, but it's very similar to what I have just explained. So use if, like this block. You can copy this block and just change this limit. Instead of -40, set it to something else, like -120. But you will also have to change this block here, instead of bigger than, maybe to something else. I'm not going to explain you all of that. So try that in your free time. Try to do it alone. If not, ask the questions here, show me your code, ask your friends, share your knowledge with them, and that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope I will see you soon in next videos. Bye for now.